be with you shortly. Hello everybody, Happy New Year. The markets will open in about 4 minutes. Just doing some last minute preparation. Okay, I think everything is set up now. So good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I hope you're well. The markets are opening in approximately 1 minute and 30 seconds. Sorry, 2 minutes. I think my clock is a little bit out of kilt. I think I'm just going to adjust that. Excuse me 1 sec. This is going to be a bit noisy. I might just mute this for a second, okay? Okay, I think that's done. There we go. I heard some talk that the funeral of former President Carter would shut the market, but I have not been able to find any confirmation for it, so I don't know if it's true or not. So here we go, markets are open. So what I would love to show you, and there's a few things I want to talk to you about today. I'm just gonna open up a chart. in a different window, and I want to find a chart sequence for you. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a different kind of Nasdaq chart. I was looking at the price action of the Nasdaq today, which is what you're seeing here. We have a really steady move up since the market opened at midnight, and I found a chart back on the 6th of November, which I thought was incredibly interesting, because we are looking at a very strong tech index. But what I find is interesting is that when the market finally opens, which it does over here on the 6th of November, and this is a 15-minute chart, you got the market basically going up and down with no real direction, just clearing out the ranges above the opening high and get back into the range, below the opening low, get back into the range. And it's not until an hour and a half into the trading session that the market really begins. And this is after the market is already in a really significant, as you can see here, is market opens here and is in a significant gap up from the previous day's close. So very much like what we are seeing today in the Nasdaq. And that's the brunch break actually sets up perfectly, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th 15-minute bar actually triggers a really beautiful buy signal. But that isn't the only thing that I find so incredibly interesting about this. The other part is that if you go back to the same day, and I'm just going to do that. It's going to take me, here we go. You would be thinking, well, if it's so bullish in the Nasdaq, is it bullish in other indices? And I want to show you what the DAX did on that particular trading day. Because on that particular trading day, the DAX actually had rallied in the morning, but then in the afternoon completely had a meltdown and actually ended below the low of the open. And this was inspired that the Nasdaq was rallying as hard as it was. So looking at this chart here, you're thinking this could look like a repeat. Over to the Nasdaq, I am certainly bullish. And I say that knowing full well that the market had a meltdown in the Dow Jones in December. But I'm not seeing anything on this chart that makes me go, oh, I have to be really bearish here. I mean, if you look at it really pragmatically on a weekly chart, the worst bearishness that you had in the Nasdaq was on the big sell-off we closed below the previous week's low, but we immediately rallied up. And even when it did a retest of the lows, it wasn't able to close below it. And so here we are. Doesn't mean that I necessarily want to be a buyer immediately, because on such big bullish days, I think you need to give the market a bit of time to figure out what it wants to do. But I do think that the DAX index is an interesting one, because this is not looking bullish at all. The market held a 38% retracement, but the news that came out pushed it well below. And even though we have this long wick, we're not seeing buyers step up. I don't know if it will allow me to add new percentages. I don't think it does. And it's not that I've begun to use Fibonacci analysis. It's just that I've noticed on really strong trending days, and it was a very strong trending day in the DAX higher, the market often offers an opportunity to be a buyer at the 38% level. Let's take a look at the Dow. And actually what could be interesting is to see the Dow on that particular day. I'm just going to do that on a different chart image. 1 second. And so what I immediately notice is this low here. I'm wondering if that would be a buy opportunity in the Dow, anticipating a range-bound price action. So here we go. Here we're looking at the 6th of November. So even though that the DAX was pushing hard lower, the Dow and the Nasdaq were completely aligned, a mess of an opening range, and then just sideways. And the brunch break set up a relatively decent buy here, counting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th 15-minute bar, buy above, long sideways, but eventually came good. So it's a new year, and with that new year, I made some decisions on how I'm going to trade here in Telegram. And if you haven't seen it, and you are interested, then I recommend that you look at the video that I posted in YouTube this morning. It's the first trading day for me here, live trading, for almost a month. I had some time off between Christmas and New Year. It was enjoyable. But otherwise, I've just been doing research and generally working. I've been told that you can't see me. It seems a little bit unlikely. If that's the case, let me just double check here. No, it's running. But 1, 2, 3 latency. So there's about 6 or 7 seconds latency in YouTube. Sorry for my silence. I'm just trying to find the place where I could allow messages to be copied, because I need to show people the link to the website where you have no latency. Unfortunately, I can't find it. Someone just found something, so I'll just post it. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everybody. think we need to be a little patient. I want to be patient. So what you're seeing here in the Nasdaq is an attempt to break out above the first 15-minute candle. So far, we've gone approximately 10 points above, and we are now 20 points from the high. If you compare that to another day in the Nasdaq where the market was incredibly strong, then you have a strong open, big retracement below the low, down there. Steady the ship, push to old highs, but overall after an hour and a half of trading, the market hadn't really done anything since the open. Here's a 5-minute chart. So you may say, well, could we not have shorted above here? I don't think I want to sell short. There may be a mechanical approach for selling short, but if I'm trading an account under these new parameters that I want to be more patient and wait for the opportunities that I think are with trend and try and let them ride for hours on end if I can. Get the stop loss to break even and then let it ride. So the aggressive school run has now set up. You'll see. There we go. And what you're seeing here is the aggressive school run in the Nasdaq. DAX has actually managed to pull through. If the DAX closes above this low, then it should go back to 20,200. But it needs to close, and there's still 7 minutes to go. So far what has happened now in the Nasdaq is that we have replicated the kind of price action that we saw on another very positive day about a month and a half ago, where we go above prior bar high or the opening high only to fall back into the range. So the market is bullish, but traders not in a rush to push it higher. And it feels to me as if buyers are standing by. You're seeing both the Dow and the Nasdaq to push to new highs. So this is what the Dow is looking like. On a weekly chart. I'll just take these lines off. We had a very dramatic reversal in the Dow. And since then, we've been in a sideways trading range on that last bar. I think for me personally, I'll be interested in seeing what kind of price action we're going to get above prior week's high, which comes in at 43,040. And that's what it feels like that it wants to do today. It's just about trying to find a good entry. So you may say, well, why didn't we take the aggressive school run? Well, what I would like to point out is the size of the stop loss. And when you are trading a smaller account, sure, you can just reduce the stake size. But what I am attempting to do is find entries that aren't so taxing on the stop loss, and buying a high, a breakout high, just above the high of the day. Sure, the price action is bullish, but I would love to be able to find an entry that perhaps said, buy below prior bar low. In approximately 2 minutes and 50 seconds, the DAX will close on the 15-minute bar, and if it does manage to close above this high, this bar's low, it will set in motion at least a push towards 150. So we could be nearing a buy signal in the Nasdaq. I'm looking for a retracement. You got a double top in the Dow on a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute overlapping bars. I'm going to get rid of the aggressive school run, and I want to put in the normal school run. So stand by for a long position in the Dow. The trigger is 42,980. I want to see if I can get a better price. In particular because of what happened, as I showed you on the 6th of November, that kind of price action. Let's just see where the DAX closed. The DAX closed back into the range, so that will open up the way now for higher prices. So I'm swapping between charts, trying to find that right opportunity. So Dow is pushing higher now. Nasdaq is not able to. So last week's high was 43,040. I imagine that, I'm absolutely certain that that's where we're headed. I haven't got an entry yet. My hands are hovering over the buy button, just hoping for that. Come on. That was well bid. I'm buying the Dow here. It's currently trading at 22. And I'm moving my stop loss to below the low. The low here was 954. I'm moving my stop loss there. So this is what it looks like on my account. So I'm using a 1-bar stop loss on a 10-minute time frame, basically just saying I'm going to put my stop loss below this current 10-minute bar. The Dow has already hit prior week's high. Can you see that? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of, shall we say, liquidity that's above there, if anything at all. I'm going to go back to a 10-minute chart now. I'm going to get rid of these lines here and just have my entry line. Nasdaq is not doing anything yet. Of course, 70 points in the Dow these days is absolutely nothing. So Nasdaq is getting interesting. Just please stand by. I've lowered my stake size so I can have a larger stop loss in the Nasdaq. I'd love to see it come down to around 21,600 to be a buyer. My Dow is a handful of points underwater. DAX is continuing above the bull bar. It will make its way towards 150. It can be bought at here with a stop loss below here. Oh, won't get away with trading £200 a point with a £10,000 account. The software you're seeing here is a software that I've developed together with a friend of mine. So let's be clear about this. I haven't strung together one piece of code. That is all his brainchild. I am merely just the one who says, can we do this? Can we do this? And usually I get, yes, of course. Did you see in the Nasdaq the idea of being a buyer below prior bar low? It's not so much that I want to be a buyer at prior bar low, it's just that I am observing that past behavior, this is where buyers usually step in on a bullish day. So I'm about 20 odd points in profit in the Dow. It's a great question would be, well, when can you move stop loss to break even? It's like, oh dear. So one way you could do about it is you say, okay, well, we got the 15-minute bar closing shortly, but you see the 10 and the 15-minute bar, they're not particularly different. And I don't know where I would place my stop loss if not where I am now. I could try and put it down there, but I think that would be the place where buyers would step in. Stand by in the Nasdaq, please, for a buy opportunity. I'm buying the Nasdaq here. I don't think I want to have a 100-point stop loss in the Nasdaq. My stop loss is all the way down here. That's not necessary, so I will change my time frame. Say, okay, this low that we made here, it has a length of approximately 50 points. So I'm going to put 50 points below the current low. So I will put my stop loss about here. So you can see there's not big amounts when you're trading this size. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to necessarily close these positions while I am streaming. So if you want an update on how I manage them, then you need to contact me so I can put you into the Telegram group where I will announce any changes to stop loss, etc. I think it's entirely plausible now to put the stop loss at break even in the Nasdaq. So that's what I'm going to do. Stop loss to break even. So I have two positions running now in the US indices. I am long the Nasdaq by being a buyer below prior bar low, just there. The low was 21,589, and I was lucky to get a fill at 21,595. I'm also long the Dow on a less obvious trade, and I'm long from here, which is basically a school run breakout. My stop loss in the Nasdaq is now at break even. And my Dow position is struggling just to keep underwater. Hopefully that will change. So the Dow is retracing now. Looking at a at a 15-minute chart. You have to wonder if this is the best place to have a stop loss. This is exactly where I had just bought on the Nasdaq moments before, same kind of setup. two positions are equal in trade size. Normally Nasdaq would be a higher stake size, but I thought I needed a bigger stop loss, so I changed it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop streaming now, and I will manage these positions. It's just that this is my first day back, and I got a couple of issues with Telegram. I'm not able to post the message I want to regarding divergent and disclaimer, etc. So I just need to, as I said, I've been gone for a month. I hope that these trading positions made sense. And as you can see, this is a live account. Earlier today, I posted a video where I went through the whole idea of what it is that I'm trying to do. It looked like this. I don't necessarily want to go through it again, but I wanted to address some criticism, and it made me realize that what I would really like to do is I will trade my own account behind the scenes, but then I will be trading a £10,000 account and trying to grow that using live trading. And that's what you are now seeing here. And this is the money management that I'll be using. I'll be risking 2% per trade. So Nasdaq should have been a 50-point stop loss. If you do want to get in touch with me, you can do so on @TomHougaard. And this is the link or the address. I can see that the Dow is coming down. Hopefully not too much more. But I'll probably go through this PowerPoint presentation a few times in the next few weeks. But the idea is to trade live twice a day. Except Wednesdays, there will be no trading at all. And this is the schedule for the next few months. And here is the idea behind it, why I am doing this. The idea is essentially, I want to trade a smaller account too. It's much more realistic. It's a lot harder to make a living on a smaller account. That's it. So as you can see here, I'm more or less break even. My Dow position is not doing very well. Dow did actually meet its objective. I suppose I could have taken profit above 43,040, but like a good trader, I tried to let my position run. And now, unfortunately, I got a stop loss right where I would actually want to be a buyer. Like literally, I would like to be a buyer here at 954. And I think I'm going to be stopped out. Yes, stopped out. It'd be interesting to see if the buyers actually are stepping in right here. It was a very poorly placed stop loss. But the Nasdaq is still running. As I said, I don't think that it's a good form to move a stop loss once you put it, but you can see exactly what I did wrong here. Okay, well anyway, I'm gonna let the Nasdaq run, see where that takes us. Stop losses at break even. But I won't place any trades on this account unless I announce it in Telegram or YouTube. So just so you're clear, I had placed my stop loss right there, and that was not a wise thing to do. That is exactly where I would have liked to have been a buyer. And I did exactly the same with the Nasdaq 15 minutes earlier. Okay. So, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this. This is just a shorter version. We've just been here for an hour. I will manage the trade in the Telegram channel. But as of now, I'm going to be signing out and say I'll see you tomorrow morning for the European session. Thanks a lot. You take care of yourself and stay strong.